Before we get started with today's video, we'd just like to ask you and remind you that if you get any enjoyment out of these videos, any value from them, to either click the thumbs up button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or even make a comment. So the February sales statistics came out, and they're pretty reasonable from what you see. We're going to go through them in a few minutes, and I'm going to show you the exact numbers. But what's happening is not enough sellers are listing their homes for sale. They think it's a bad time to sell their home. I'm not going to get into that, whether it is or not at this point in time. We spoke about that in previous videos, but that's what's happening. We've got the exact same problem that we had at the beginning of last year when prices were going up like crazy. The only difference is there's not as many sales this year. We're still in seller's market conditions in a lot of areas, which we're going to look at again in a moment, but we're seeing quite a few less sales, 40 to 50% less sales. So what happens when this happens is low inventories create bidding wars because there's people that always have to buy. So we're starting to see those again. There's been a lot more bidding wars that happened during February. And what happens with that is now we're starting to see prices level off. Prices in February didn't go down for the first time in probably 8 or 9 months. So whether that's a one-off for one month or whether that's going to be the continuing trend, we'll just have to follow and see over the next few months. Now, I've said it before and 1,000 times, and I'll say it again. You will never lose money in Vancouver if you treat the real estate like a long-term investment. People in Vancouver play, especially the pre-sale market, they play it like the stock market. Real estate wasn't designed for that in the first place. I mean, we won't get into that either, but real estate, if you look at it as a long-term investment in Vancouver and have a look at this 40-year graph behind me that has been up there that I've shown you a million times, every time something bad happens, the market always comes back bigger and stronger than ever. And why that is because Vancouver is a landlocked city. You can't go to the north because there's mountains. You can't go to the south because of the American border. You can't go west because of the Pacific Ocean. And it used to be you could go east, but there's no land to the east left either. That's all in the agricultural land reserve. So here's the detached housing statistics for the month of February, the sales statistics. So you can see, again, we've talked about the different market conditions. Anything under 13% is considered a buyer's market. Anything between 13 and 20% is considered a seller's market, and I should say a balanced market, and then above 20% is considered a seller's market. In a seller's market, if it continues that way for a period of time, prices rise. In balanced markets, prices stay flat, and in buyer's markets, if it stays a buyer's market for a significant period of time, then prices will decline, and that's what we've seen over the course of the last 10 or 11 months. So you have a look at these list to sell ratios. That's interesting. Most of these are in balanced market conditions: West Side, East Side, Ladner, Richmond, Tawasin, but then North Van, extreme sellers conditions at 38%, and West Van at 9%. These are the overall numbers that take in the whole market. But then if you look at the next column, the seller's market up to the west side of Vancouver, it is a seller's market up to $4 million. Almost 30% of the homes sold last month in that price range. And then once you got across 4 million, it just dropped to where less than 3% of the homes sold. And that's the way it is on all these lists. If you see, the east side's a seller's market up to 2.25, Tawasin up to 1.5, West Van up to 2.5. That's the stuff you don't see in the press. And you also have a look at some of these numbers. Percentage sold with multiple offers. Look at that. 34% of the houses in the west side of Vancouver sold with multiple offers. 12% in Richmond, 38% in North Van. And this type of stuff's been going on the whole time through the past year. There's multiple offers happening as prices are declining. Just doesn't make any economic sense and doesn't happen anywhere else except in the crazy world of Vancouver real estate. In the townhouse market, much the same, but higher numbers. The list to sell ratios are stronger. Lots of them are sellers markets. The only ones that aren't on this list are the downtown market and the West Van market. Then you have a look at the median days on market. These are for the ones that sold. They're selling quickly. The ones that sell are selling quickly. If you've got a house in your neighborhood that's been on the market a long time, the only reason is they're trying to get last year's price this year. They're overpriced if they've been on the market more than 21 days. So that's it. gives you an idea of where we're at market-wise. We're going to keep our eye on it and report on it again to you next month. I'm Jamie Hooper with RE/MAX Crest, and we will be back with another video soon.